Welcome back to the Boys on the Field podcast. This is a big one for us, our first, I believe, of the actual World Cup. I'm joined by Anthony Lancione, Ethan Gabor, and Anthony Santia. This is episode 22, brought to you by Offside Boys. Guys, this is it, eh? I mean, we figured we'd have a few in here before all three games in the group stage were said and done, but here we are, and we're looking at a draw, a win, and a loss. We'll get into all three games, but how are we feeling so far with just the vibe of the World Cup and the first few weeks here?
It's been awesome. The city's been lively. Toronto obviously being one of the host cities for the World Cup, potentially staring down the barrel of a big knockout matchup containing Portugal, depending on how they play today. So, just city's lively. I love it. Canada, obviously, as you said, 1-1-1, which I think was the main prediction of how they'd go. But we'll get into that one. But just best time of the year.
Oh, man, I'm
So,
I'm electric. City's been buzzing. I was there on Saturday, last Saturday. I was at FanFest for the Germany Ivory Coast game. That was the time. Just all the different people there, all the different jerseys you'd see. It was just a great time, man. World Cup's just the best time. There's really nothing like it. And to actually be a part of it as a country and the team actually playing well, getting results, man. Ah, man, it brings a tear to my eye, truly.
Oh, you know what? I won't lie, boys. I'm pretty gassed today. I spent the last week and I guess week and a bit sleeping on a floor. For those who I guess don't know, I somehow backed my way into going to Vancouver and somehow getting
Oh.
to two games here. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna take a little sip of coffee here,
heyo,
Chug, chug, chug,
heyo.
chug.
just from my Canada Qatar collector's cup. I also gathered
Oh,
the Canada Switzerland Cup. Yeah, so quick little
one
story
of
before
many
we actually get
props.
into it. Out of every single freaking overpriced piece of merch that you could get, this was absolutely by far the best deal. $5 for a water, and you
Oh,
got the
wow.
cup, and it's commemorative, and it's got
Okay.
all the logos,
Nice.
and it's got like the date and the match number and all that sort of
That's sick.
stuff. So those were the only only pieces of merch I picked up my entire trip because I was not spending, I think it was $90 for if you wanted to get like a half scarf. The t-shirts were like
Oh,
$60. Not doing that when you're spending $25 on a beer. So yeah.
90, $90 for a half and half scarf
Yeah, I
is
believe it was
that's
$90
sinful.
was the
That is
price.
Diabolical.
sinful.
what? You
And
don't want to
dude,
rep
Um,
Qatar?
they'd be sick to have, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
like, dude, it was that expensive, and every single store that like you would go to, just like it looked like Wonderland, like with how long these lines
Oh
were. It was
God.
just absurd. But you know what? That was the only downside really of my last week. It's been awesome. I mean, what more can you freaking ask for from a World Cup, man? It's been incredible, and just the vibes everywhere. Toronto, Vancouver, all over the place. You've seen all the Europeans discovering ranch. That's been a highlight for sure. Um,
And
just an
baseball.
awesome time of year, man. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 a movie. No way else to describe it. It's been a movie.
Yeah, it's been an exciting time for all Canadians, especially just football fans. Feels like we've been waiting for this moment, this month, and the fact that it's finally happening, it's been sick. Yeah, as well, just to throw in this as well, we Offside Boys. We just opened up our first storefront on College, and the amount of people that have just come in here. We've had a bunch of events with like Hotel One and Maddie's Patties and a bunch other companies and stuff, and just meeting all the different countries and people that are coming to Toronto for the first time is absolutely sick. But we got to get into this. We'll start with game one. Ethan and I were both there, so we'll have some I'm sure some stories to tell you about this one. But let's just get into Canada's opening game against Bosnia. Heading into the game, I heard that a large portion of the stadium would be covered in blue. That wasn't the case whatsoever. Obviously, we tied 1-1, them getting the first and the 21st minute, and then Kyle Laren, my guy, Kyle Laren
I said he should start too. I'm
gets
We
putting
gets
yeah
the
that
we
out
we
there
start.
did
too.
call that. We did call
We
that.
did call, yeah, we did call that. Gets the goal, but what do we think about that first game? Was it a too slow of a start? I know it was always going to be a bunch of pressure, but Santia, what were your first thoughts on that game one?
Well, obviously, me and Tones we had the pre-scouting of watching Bosnia kill our Italian heritage dreams of coming to Toronto. So we kind of knew it was going to be a very physical battle. Obviously, they scored off a corner. They're all 6'5" minimum. I mean, we knew it was coming. Obviously, Crepeau slow off his line, conceded, and then they just literally they didn't just park the bus. They parked like four cars, a minivan. They parked everything. So it was really tough after they scored to break them down. And there's people on Instagram, saying that they pocketed Canada, and I had to chirp back, and it was ironic. But anyways, Laren got the goals, phenomenal. Can't hear nothing, can't say nothing. 1-1. We got the draw at home. Obviously, would have liked to see a win, but that was what we had predicted, that they were probably going to pick up a draw against Bosnia. It was tough, obviously. We don't have the same height and physicality that Bosnia has outside of the midfield, and Kone, sadly, breaking his leg, as we'll get into that. But it was good. I mean, overall, we got the job done. We got a point in the opener, and that's what I really think Jesse Marsh and the boys on the field are looking for there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can be too upset with that point. But Tones, did you see it any differently? Did you think that we could have gotten more out of that game?
Oh, absolutely. It just goes back to that same problem that I've said before with this team for years now. It's the finishing. They create chances, like a plethora of chances. Even when they're playing against like top sides I've seen in some friendlies, or even against Belgium in the last World Cup, they get chances. They just had to put them away. David, man, I know he made up for it in the second game, but man, that first one, the whole bar I was in, everyone was just like, we all saw it coming the way the play set up. Oh, it was. Can you imagine the opening goal at BMO just being David? What was that? 15 minutes in, just putting
It
it,
was
just
early.
blasting it home, man. I'll tell you, if they scored first, they would have won that game with ease. I think they would have won that game 2-0, maybe even three. But obviously, Bosnia got the first goal. I can't lie, I was really even though we had created chances, I was really really nervous after that because I had watched that Italy game and I'm like, this team they're stubborn. It's going to be a messy game, physical game. It's just going to be ugly football, right? But Kyle Larin, the Osmos man, great subs by Marsh, getting him on, getting Ahmed on as well, getting Promise on, good Promise with a nice flick. He's been great. He has been
Yep.
great this group stage.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, watching the Italy Bosnia game, I knew it was going to be I think we all knew it was going to be way tougher than we thought it would. But Ethan, well, you can get into maybe the match day experience here. Both of us were there. What were your thoughts on what? Maybe I'll ask you more about the vibe of the
Yeah.
actual stadium, getting to the venue, just the energy, because I know it was once in a lifetime.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll speak on the game quickly. I think both of you guys really hit the nail on the head there. Bosnia, and again, I watched the Italy game as well. Like, they're a tough team. They're a humongous team, like absolutely huge all the way around. And so you knew that that was going to be a tough game, and that size ultimately is what helped them get their goal. The finishing, yes, the John Dave. I literally, again, it'd be a different story right now if we didn't have Qatar after that to kind of look back on, but holy crow, that was just one of the worst pieces of trying to finish I've ever seen. That was very tough. Obviously, Richie had a tremendous chance, and if Richie scored the opening goal at BMO Field, I mean, I don't even know what I would have done. Probably jumped onto the pitch. Overall, thought it was thought they played decently well. Again, I thought that Tanny should not have been starting that game. I did not like that decision from Jesse, but I thought the subs were correct and brought him on in good moments. Ali Ahmed played, his heart off the pitch. Kyle Larin, obviously, with the goal. So I thought that was really good. Getting into kind of just the whole experience around the game itself. I mean, number one, just as somebody who's been going to BMO Field for whatever now, I don't know what year is this, 2026, for, over 10 years of my life. Like, I still cannot fathom that we got to see a World Cup game at BMO Field. Like, if you told me this when I was 15 years old, like, I just been would have been like, what are you talking about, man? Like, this is stupid. But yeah, it was unreal. We got down to Trinity Bellwoods around, I want to say, 9:30 in the morning. Voyagers all kind of assembled there. It was unreal. We had a couple buddies who were at the game dressed up like Mounties, who were taking pictures left, right, and center. I mean, people are sticking mics in your face. There's all these like content creators and this and that. But yeah, the march was absolutely incredible down Strachan Avenue. I mean, I have never, like, I was kind of what I would like to say sort of chalk in the middle of it. Looking forward, I couldn't see the end. Looking backwards, I couldn't see the end. Like, I've never been in a march that massive before, and just the energy was absolutely palpable. You get to the stadium, I mean, I'll say this, very easy to get into, had no trouble at all. It was perfectly set up. Just unbelievable way I think that BMO did it with just everything that's outside of the actual stadium. You know, they extended the footprint of it. Stadium energy was absolutely electric. Yes, there were not 30,000 Bosnians there, but they had a section, and there were some, kind of sprinkled throughout. And honestly, I think it kind of added to it, like I don't have any problem with with Bosnian fans whatsoever. They've had a rough go of it, and so for them to be there and celebrate that moment, I think was very special as well. Just a phenomenal freaking day. I got absolutely roasted in the sun, which was kind of fun. But yeah, just unbelievable match vibes for sure. Getting in and out was great, and just it was a tremendous just showing for Canada in general, I would say.
Yeah, I gotta. I mean, kind of just a bunch of what you're saying. I'm going to be saying here too. First of all, very easy to get in. I gotta say that I was worried about the crowds and getting in. Super super easy to get in. The Bosnian fans were there. They were loud, but you want some presence from Bosnian fans at a World Cup game. It wouldn't have felt right if there wasn't a bit of contention there. So that was nice. And yeah, I think it was incredible. Like just to kind of build off what Ethan was saying. Like I've been a season ticket holder at TFC since day one. I remember when we used to get tickets for free to Canada games in like 2009, 2010, and we would go to these games and there'd be like 1,000 people there, if that, to watch us draw 1-1 against El Salvador or something, whatever it was. And there was a moment where my dad and I were standing in that stadium, packed as can be. I think we were singing the anthem, and we were just like, "This is insane! Like, wow, the World Cup is finally here. It's been years of build up, and it felt so good to get it going." But yeah, now as for the game, did we like the starting 11? I know mentioned that Tanny started. I think we all predicted that Kyle would start. He did get on and then made an instant impact within a few minutes, getting that goal. I got to tell you guys, when that goal went in, oh my God. I can't even describe to you I have a video that I started recording like right after he scored. It's not really of anything, it's more just about like me jumping around. But you can hear the audio and I don't sound like myself. I sound like four pitches higher up and I'm like yelling like a 9-year-old kid. And it was unbelievable. I'm sure it was the same for you guys, Tones and Santia at whatever bar or wherever you guys were watching. But what was that feeling like? We got to talk about that first World Cup goal, and it had to be Kyle Larin. You know what I mean? Like it had to be. He was our highest goals, our top goal scorer for many many years until David recently overtook him, and it had to be him. How did that feel? Just like from the deep emotions of your heart, tell me how that felt watching Kyle Larin, and what a turn! I know it got deflected, but he collected that ball and he turned like, oh my God! I don't know if the Southampton taught him that or what, but oh
Unbelievable.
my God.
Southampton taught him
Unbelievable.
that. Okay.
I
Unbelievable
don't
though.
know,
Like
man. Oh my
unbelievable.
God.
Got the scouting report from Bosnia's practices. Those were
Yeah, they were
practices.
recording. They were
Bird right
recording.
there. Turn and shoot right there if you get it.
Tariki's gonna try to 2-foot you, so just spin off him. It meant a lot. I mean, first home country to score a goal in this tournament. Actually, that's a lie because Mexico scored before. It was just phenomenal to see it. Kyle Larin has been with this program for a long time, as you said, Ben. Top scorer for the longest time up until I believe it was 2 years ago when David took over, and he's still up there. They're like three or four within each other. Like it's not much. I do think ultimately it's going to be David's record because Larin's on the tail end of his career, but just they were knocking on the door the whole game. I mean, Kolasinac had that save where he smoked it off the bar and was about to
Yeah.
go in and then it went wide. So they could have had two or three, but just getting it was almost a relief. You didn't want to get shut out at home in the first game of the World Cup for your run. So finally, when that went in, it's more of just a release, a relief of pressure, more of anything else for me watching it, knowing that drawing this game should in turn be enough because you have Qatar coming and you have Switzerland. So it was awesome to see. The celebration was massive. Obviously, Jesse Marsh dancing on the line, that was beautiful. That's gonna live in, I think, every Canadian soccer fan's minds forever. And just the fact that he's an American doing this for Canada, it means even so much more, knowing that it's a manager that's not from Canada, to see how much passion he brings to the sport. I've always loved seeing even when it goes back to hockey, seeing like American players sing the Canadian anthem. It's another level for me, seeing how much they care to be here as well. So overall, it's just phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it was one that we're really all just gonna remember for the rest of our lives. Like that was a
Yeah.
moment in Canadian history. But we'll have to move on to the second game because I know we only got a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and I am itching to get to the second game. Second game, a lot happened in this. Records were broken, tears were shed. But I think a good time was had ultimately. I mean, you want to get away with a win in these games. Goal differential is important as well. Obviously, we'll get to the Kone injury in a second. But Tones, I'll throw it to you. Did you feel like this game was a 6-0 game coming in, or was it more of like a 3-0, 3-1? Like, was this a
Yeah.
surprise?
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I did say like batter them. I'd said this on previous
Yeah,
episodes, but to me, battering was like 3-4-0. At least, especially
yeah,
for this team, with like you said, the finishing problems. I was like 3-4-0. That should be good enough. I think obviously the two red cards definitely helped. Um, Bit of a bittersweet game though. I feel like I'd trade in five of those goals to get
yeah.
Kone back. In all honesty, and just take the victory because that was just really unfortunate. Uh, but no, shout out Jonathan David. He caught so much slander online. The the thing where they put him on like that one artist, like D4. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad. That was a bad. Like you do not want to be slandered like that, man.
I'm glad he put that to bed. He put that
Oh,
to bed.
yeah, he well put that to bed. And he started off the game too, just firing. It was a
Oh yeah.
volley,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. And I low
What
key bet
a
on him
he
to
didn't
get
let
like some
that
shots on
bounce,
target.
eh?
No, that was an
No,
He
unbelievable
did
no.
hit.
not let that
Unbelievable
bounce.
hit.
It
Oh
was
my
three.
God, what a
His first
hit.
three shots were three straight volleys, and the
Yeah.
third one ending in a rebound that Laren put away. And once that goal happened, the
It was
floodgates just
over.
opened, man.
Over.
Yeah.
Cake.
Once he scored that, I was watching it at work, and I was like, yeah, guys, like this is wraps. They're just gonna pile it on now. And then yeah, then the first red card really helped.
Mhm.
David Hattrick. All the goals were just beautiful, man. The Saliba
Yeah.
free kick. They were just putting on a clinic. They really put us. They put Canada on the footballing map. The amount of like respect. I know it was against Qatar, but the
Yeah.
amount of respect that we got worldwide online for that performance, the memes, everything. It was just big, and it was easily outside of maybe Davies' goal against Croatia, like my proudest moment as a
Mhm.
Canadian footy fan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I was, I like this is at work too. The emotions that were just coming up through me, man. I actually could have cried. I was like, this is
No, it was
insane.
insane.
Like we won a World Cup game. We won a game.
And it wasn't like we just won it. We like you
No.
said, we showed
Put
up.
on a
We were
show.
like
We put on a
and
show.
and shout out to Jonathan David. He became the first player to score a World Cup hat trick on home soil
Mhm.
since Jeff
Mhm.
Hurst did in 1966. And the
Mhm.
first Serie A player to do it since 1998. So I know he's been going through a lot over the last year or so at Juventus. So that was really nice for him to get that. But I think the bigger topic of discussion, Ethan, I'll throw it to you here. Kone, it was a freak accident. It didn't. We saw
Madiba.
Madibo, or I believe it was,
Yeah.
looked completely distraught. He visited him in the dressing room, or apologized to the team in the dressing room afterwards. He visited him after Kone got out of the hospital. Freak accident, not a tackle that you expect would result in a. I think he broke
Mhm.
both his fibula and his
Tibia
fibula,
Yeah.
and
if I'm not
fibia. Yeah.
Yeah. Broke
Yeah.
tibia
both
and
Yeah.
tibia,
bones.
whatever it was. Oh my God! So
Yeah.
it's really rough. But is that something that maybe we're going to use as like motivation? I know we saw the eights in the
Yep.
in the in the last group stage game, but or is that going to kind of affect us missing out on such a big player for our 11?
You know what? I'll say this. First of all, like, so I was at that, and when that happened, you could just automatically see every single player on this team just in what I would describe as a state of shock,
Mhm.
basically just hands on their head. And again, like where I was, like we're way back in the upper corner, so like we don't really like understand what the hell is going on, or we just see a challenge and him go down. Um, to your question of, whether this can unite the team, I think it absolutely already has. You saw immediately when Saliba came on for him and ended up scoring very quickly, like the thought right away to grab the kit, hold it up. It was just automatic. And, I think we saw kind of a very similar thing if we bring this back to Copa America with Tajon Buchanan. We saw how much that he meant to the squad at that time. And I think it's a very similar thing with Coney and how they're going to try to rally around him. And when you look at who his replacement is in Natan Saliba, he's proved himself to be very, very capable in this last game and a half. I mean, he was absolutely terrific coming on in that game, as I already mentioned, scoring that goal. And then even against Switzerland, I mean, the guy is just all over the place. Like, it's unbelievable to watch. And so, Kone going down, yes, it sucks and it's a freak accident. And I'm also gonna say this too. Like, I saw kind of a lot of harsh reaction to the challenge from Madibo. Like, that is not like, I get it. It was a tough challenge, but that, like, the guy wasn't trying to break his freaking
That's
leg, man.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to cool it with that. Again, and you could tell how much it sucked for him. Again, he went and had to go visit him, and he went and visited him in the hospital. Getting a 5 match suspension to me is kind of harsh. So I just want to
Yeah.
put that out there. Like, again, stuff
We
happens. Like,
I know Tones and I we've mentioned this a few times. We've seen worse tackles by
yeah,
some higher profile players, I'll just leave it
yes,
at that,
and not
that
not and
haven't
nothing
even gotten
happens.
booked.
Yes.
There's not even a
Yeah, I
yellow.
wanna
Yep.
I wanna put that
Certain
to bed,
FIFA
man.
darling
But
boy.
But
yeah,
but
no,
Qatar, yeah. I mean,
no,
yeah.
just
If
just
that's
I
if
mean,
that's
If
someone on,
if
I
we're
don't know. I'll
being
just
if
I'll
we're
just
being
sorry.
fully transparent, it's not even a red card tackle,
no.
to
No,
be
I'll be
honest.
no,
honest.
not at
Like,
all.
no, it really
Yeah.
wasn't.
Like
I
And
if
think you
that's
have
yeah,
to give the red because he broke his
he
leg.
broke
But
his leg. That's the
if
Yeah.
he
reason.
got
yeah.
up, like yellow card, sure, don't send him off.
At the
But
I bet
most,
you,
even.
I bet
yeah,
you, if that was, and I'll just throw a random, like just the first country I think.
just
Like I'm not like just like maybe Argentina, just like the first country
Ah,
I thought of. Just that's just
Oh,
because I'm doing
oh.
alphabetical
alphabetical
makes
yeah,
order.
sense.
Alphabetical. Yeah, yeah,
If it
yeah.
was
Okay.
Argentina, for example, is that even a booking? Probably not.
No,
So shout out Madibo. That he looked. I mean, my heart,
no,
my
he was
heart goes out to
distraught,
him.
man. Like,
If you broke someone's leg on a football pitch, and you didn't mean to, you'd be distraught. So also
mhm.
shout out to the top three or three top surgeons at Vancouver General Hospital that were not on call, but they raced to the hospital right after the injury to perform surgery, I believe, on Kone.
yep.
Successful surgery as well. So shout out to those
National
guys,
heroes.
national heroes. But yeah, so I think we take that loss with Kone, but the win is more important as a team. The 6 goal
Yeah.
differential was massive for us, and it was a big just kind of stepping point, I think, in this program, which brings us to the third game in the group. Now, after that 6-0 win, I don't know about you guys, but I was feeling very optimistic going into this game against Switzerland. We saw Switzerland tie Qatar in the first game of their campaign of this World Cup, so I was hoping and thinking that we could get a result here. We started very slowly, I gotta say, but if you told me that we would lose 2-1 to Switzerland before the tournament started, I don't know if I would be upset with that, especially knowing that we would have 4 points before that. But how do you guys feel about the Switzerland game?
I just want to say one
Santia?
thing. I just want to say one thing before we move on about the Kone injury. Tones brought up about how just seeing Canada win their first ever game at the World Cup was like the most proudest moment that he had for Canadian soccer. Mine was Saliba's reaction after his free kick goal. I mean, I,
Mhm.
I was at the bar, I watched it, and I saw him walk up to I think it was a statue, I can't remember who, and take the ball, getting ready for the free kick. And I looked at my girlfriend. I went with my girlfriend, one of her friends, and I said, "He's just flat out. He's going to score the free kick." Like it's just there's
It
some things
felt
that
like
you
the
see.
football gods, like the
Yeah.
football
Exactly,
gods.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
some things that you see in sports where it's predictable. You know what's going to happen because of things that have happened in the past. And especially because he was teammates with him in Montreal. He was the direct substitute coming in for Kone. And, I mean, I argued in our predictions videos that he could have even been one of the starters, right? So seeing him step up, I knew he was going to score it. He scored it. And then just immediately going, grabbing the jersey. That brought a tear to my eye. I was in the bar. Everybody started clapping. It was just a moment that will last forever in Canadian soccer history. This is what people are going to think of. Um, I just want to say that to just put a little bow on the end for the Qatar game. Going into the Switzerland game, we were first in the group. We just needed a point, and we were going to win. They came out very flat until the hydration break in both halves, ironically. Crepeau making some really, really, really good saves in the first half, justifying why he was a starter. Going to halftime, 0-0, definitely a result that favored Canada but you knew the Swiss needed the win and they were going to come out hard in the second half. It's exactly what they did. First goal, not really anything you can do. Vargas smacks it off the post. Like, unless if Crepeau's overcompensating on that side, he's not going to get to it. But the second goal right at him, definitely a tough one. But like he saved
Was
so
it
many in the first half, like he was bound to let one in, and it was an
Made a
unfortunate one.
terrific save in the
But
first half.
yeah,
Yeah.
phenomenal
was it
save in the first half. So
was
yeah,
it the first goal where, or maybe I think it was the second goal, the one the where I don't know where our entire right side of our defense was,
Yeah.
but the camera just ended up panning down with the ball as it came across the
hmm
box, and then nobody was there, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh my
it was
god.
the first goal. It was the
Yeah.
first
First
goal.
goal, yeah, and it was like right after half as well. You hate to concede those, but I mean, the Switzerland are a very good team, 19th
hmm
ranked as well in the world. It was always going to be a tough game, but I think the
Yeah.
biggest point of discussion here with this game, it being like Santia said, it being a game where you needed at least a point.
hmm
A point or a win keeps you in first place. And we heard, and I want to get into this because we heard before the game Jesse Marsh come out and say that Alphonso Davies is ready to play in a game where we need a draw or a win.
Mm.
And we don't see him. And now Alphonso Davies is never going to play a World Cup on Canadian soil, which is very unfortunate. How do we feel about this? I know Marsh came out afterwards and said, "Oh no, it was a decoy. He was never actually available to play." How involved do you think Bayern Munich are with this decision? Because I feel like it's heavy.
Yeah.
Tones.
Like I get like you have to take him on the team, right? But is this guy even close to healthy enough to play 5 minutes? Genuinely? I don't
If
think
not,
so.
why is he here? If not,
Exactly.
why is he here?
I think it's strictly just because it's him. Like if it was anyone else, he wouldn't be there. Because we've at least seen Bombito make appearances, get minutes, and we were all questioned, and there were reports that he wasn't going to be on the squad. Like I don't know, man. Because if you do want to play him in the next game, you can't start him because you haven't even brought him off the bench yet.
hmm
You can't throw him in there cold like that. Even
Yeah.
though he's a great player, he's a great athlete, and they're not playing the strongest team. You still can't do that. You can't throw him out to the sharks like that.
Well,
You
that
can
is a
just.
hope. That is a hope because
I'm
the
hoping he just comes off the bench.
well, yeah, but
If,
that's what
if
I'm
he could
saying.
start, I'd be like, then why wasn't he coming off the bench in the last game? If he's good enough to start, he's good enough to come off the bench.
I don't think there's any way that he starts, but them
No.
having South Africa as a weaker nation, you're hoping Richie and Johnston as the two wingbacks are going to be able to hold them off, and then maybe you get 15 or 20 minutes in the second half. If needed, you bring on Davies either as a defender or an attacker. I think that's what Marsh was hoping. Now saying Davies is healthy, Davies is healthy, Davies is healthy, and then he plays a total of 0 minutes so far. That's a little unfortunate, but now it's kind of mind games because can you trust him or no? Because he said Alfie Jones was the only one that isn't
Yeah.
healthy. Yeah, okay, Alfie hasn't played, but neither has Fonzie, right? So it's
Yeah.
just it's definitely tough.
This is what I want to get at is, and I said this before the World Cup, is I said I don't necessarily think that there's a very good chance Davies plays whatsoever, just
Mhm.
given everything that's transpired between Bayern, Canada Soccer. I mean, the guy's just obviously he hasn't played in a Canada shirt since March of 2025, hasn't played in any action since this injury, which was May like 6th or something like that. Um, in terms of like Jesse going out and kind of doing this mind games, decoy, whatever the hell you kind of want to call it. I'm totally fine with you like saying Alfonso's going to be available or he might be available, blah, blah, blah. But like this whole idea where he kind of started out the World Cup being like, yeah, I'm going to keep my cards close to the vest. And, they're like, yeah, we're not going to give updates, blah, blah, blah. Why the hell are you then going out and just saying, "Oh yeah, he was just a decoy"? Like to me, even if he was, like don't
Don't say
admit
that.
that, number one.
Don't admit that.
And then number two, like I want to say this, like I think this whole Davies fiasco has really kind of taken away from things we should actually be focusing on and the media should be focusing on from that game. I mean, it was not this team's finest performance. The midfield did not look that great. Tajon, in my opinion, probably had his worst game in a Canada shirt. And so, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the coach and his mind games and Davies and Willie not. And then looking ahead to South Africa again, like how do you deploy a guy who has not been playing at all. Like I don't know. I thought that when you're down a goal in that game, and if he's available, he should be playing because he's a difference maker. I don't know what you do now at this point, and that to me is a little bit frustrating in a World Cup that otherwise has been very, very fun and awesome to watch. So I'll leave it at that. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
So my quick question then is, with everything that we've seen from Jesse Marsh's antics when it comes to Davies, if you're Jesse Marsh, with everything that you've seen right now, how much time, if any, do you give Davies against South Africa? Like if you just throw out a number, how much?
I have
Depends on
no
the
idea.
score.
Depends on the game.
Depends on the score. If
But
we're down
also,
by
What's happening in the
if
game.
we're down by 2, we give them 45 minutes.
but also
If we're up by
sitting here,
if we're up by
like,
1, we give them 10.
Yeah,
I have no freaking clue what form this guy's in.
none at all.
None of
None.
us do. So
I
like,
think the
Actually, this is a perfect segue, actually, because I mean, maybe talking about Davies, we can. I want your score predictions for the South Africa game. If you, I mean, whether you think Davies is going to play or not, you can bring that into whatever mindset you want. But I want a score prediction from the three of you. I'll give one after you guys. But what do we think? LA, 3 o'clock on Sunday. South Africa, Canada. Tones, I'll throw it to you first.
Hmm. I don't know how much. I want to say we can get a clean sheet, but you just never know. Just with the high line that we play, just guns blazing way we play. I do love the way we play though, regardless of that. Say 2-1.
yeah,
2-1.
Ethan,
Go
I
up
was
2
gonna go
0
two.
and they get one late.
a late one.
I was gonna go 2-1 as well, and I will say this: like people are very happy that we drew South Africa, and again, I get it. It's a not the toughest opponent that we could have had, but I'll say this: they finished second in their group for a reason. Like they did beat a very solid South Korea side, so I don't want to sit here and say that this is an easy game by any stretch, and they're a good team, and just be weary. Like if this thing gets to pens, man, or like
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
So do you
We're
think
looking at
Pens?
we're looking tough.
Let's
So
score
no.
prediction.
I don't think it's in pens, but I just want to put that out there that don't take South Africa lightly. I think we went 2-1 in full time.
All right, 2-1, 2. So we got 2-2-1. Santia, you breaking the mold here?
No, it's funny. I go 2-1, but I think in extra time. I think 1-1
Okay,
draw,
Ooh.
extra
I like
time,
that.
and I think Canada are able to get it done in extra time.
I'm going 2-0.
Okay.
I'm
For
going
who?
2-0. And I hope that
What do you think?
I think like we just win. Honestly, I don't care if it's
Yeah.
1-0 or 4-1 or I don't care. But anyway,
8-7, who gives a crap? Win.
before we go, I do have to bring in my prop, and I have a how do I call this? A Bennett surprise. Doesn't have the same ring as a Santia surprise, but or a trivia. I have a trivia question here for you guys. My prop,
Sure.
first and foremost. I don't know, Ethan, if you picked one of these up, but
Oh yeah. Yep, I got it upstairs.
this has been going all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
you
were
guys given
mine
me
is like
these.
all bent and crap from how much I was
Yeah,
just
mine's like this one's
flicking
hanging on for dear life, but
Yeah.
this will be going in the memory box forever. But
Yeah.
so that's my prop, and then quick trivia question: as of right now, only one team out of the 48 have not scored a goal at this World Cup. What country is it? You have a minute because we only have a few minutes left, or maybe a minute and a half to think about it here. But if you can think of the one team at this World Cup so far
Oh,
that has not scored a goal.
did
No.
Tunisia score a goal?
Yeah,
I think
they did.
Tunisia scored in their last game.
They're awful.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to answer because I have the standings lifted up here, but I am curious. And if it's who the country I think, I'll say it after the boys answer. But I have my answer. I just want to check it.
I actually don't even know.
Oh,
Well, I'm running through all the terrible teams in my head.
you know what?
And I feel
Not
like they've
who
all
I would have
Panama.
expected.
Panama.
It is Panama.
Oh,
Yeah.
good tone.
They
Nice.
play in 20 minutes. Maybe they get one against England. But
I was
they
like,
could
which
go
group
they
has
down.
just
will.
been the most boring to watch? I was
Yeah.
going through them, the Belgian
Yeah.
group,
Yo,
that
Yeah.
group. I was like, oh, which one?
I
Panama
mean,
scoring against
Ecuador
England.
0-0 draw merchants up
They
until the
could
game
beat
ago.
England. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie to you.
I was
Now,
going to say
before we
Curacao, but that's wrong.
No, because I
Cape
remember
Verde.
celebrating their goal against
Cabo
Germany.
Verde.
Shout out
Shout out.
Cabo Verde. Oh
Shout
my
out
Shout
God.
Cabo Verde. Shout
Hey, are
out
you guys following Vozinha?
Portuguese colony.
Oh yeah, boys. Oh yeah. Dude, I wonder what his DMs look like, man. Holy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
His
Insane. But
mother is
anyway,
with him.
Anyway, this World Cup has been absolutely insane so far. I'm sure we'll be back with another episode as we enter the knockout rounds. You know, a bunch of different perspectives here. We had Ethan talk about his time going to all three group games. Obviously, I went to one. I also went to Boston to watch England Ghana. That was a whole different experience. Maybe I can
We
get
got
into
to get
that
that
next
too.
podcast. But yeah,
Snooze
it
fest.
was it's been snooze fest, but unbelievable time. Oh my
Yeah, I bet.
God, unbelievable time. Oh
Oh
my God. We'll
my
get into that. We'll get into that. But yeah, I think we're all just super excited that this World Cup has started. We wish we could have done a podcast before the three
I'll
group games were
I'll take the
done. But
blame on that one, boys.
yeah, I mean reasons were had for that. But hey,
Very
we'll
valid
take it.
reasons.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
valid. Yeah.
you were there. You were there.
Yeah. But yeah, until next time, this was episode 22, I believe, brought to you by Offside Boys, brand new store at 615 College Street. If you're listening and you're interested, go down and check out all the jerseys we got down there. From Anthony Lencioni, Ethan Gabor, Anthony Santia, I've been Ben Griffith. This has been the Boys on the Field. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Ale, 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 ale.
Come
Stay
on.
offside.